Welcome back to Gumption Sports. Kind of gonna do a little recap of the games from yesterday, just kind of what I had picked, and then what actually ended up happening. I lost the early slate of games. I had the Vikings -6, and then I had the Patriots +3. Um, I felt decent about the Patriots every once in a while, but Lamar Jackson happened, and he's probably the runner for MVP. I mean, every game, every week now, the last 2 weeks he's put up what 5 touchdowns, crazy. No one can stop him, and the Patriots just aren't good. They didn't have a quarterback the whole game yesterday. Mac Jones sucks, and they probably won't have him for a few weeks, so now they really don't have a quarterback. But anyway, so I lost those two. Those were my big ones, and then I hit my other three. I only had three other straight plays really. I had the Colts +5.5, the Panthers +3, and the Titans +2. The Titans Raiders game got close in the second half, and then actually the Raiders were only 2-point conversion away from tying it. Refs were throwing a lot of flags in that though. I hate when they just give them a ton of chances for a team to tie it, especially when that's not what my my ticket can have happen. Panthers were pretty much in control of that Saints game the whole time, and the Colts that's one of those weird miraculous wins that, I mean, the muff punt that got the Colts on the board to start the game, yeah, and then it just Matt Ryan tried to give that game away for a little while there. I mean, the final drive, I think he got the ball back with like 8.5 minutes left on the clock, and then scored the touchdown to Jelani Woods. I think it was like 14 or 18 seconds left on the clock. It's like but also they got bailed out by that Chris Jones penalty, because the Colts should have never been able to score that touchdown. I really should have just played the Colts on the money line. Because I had that money line parlay with the Commanders, the Dolphins, and the Colts. I should have left the Commanders off there. I said it in my last video. The Eagles are great. I mean, I don't know why I thought. I guess I thought the Commanders would play with a bit more gumption, but they didn't. So I should have just parlayed the Dolphins and the Colts because I really like those ones on the money line. That Colts, I mean that Bills Dolphins game was fun. Yeah, it was a fun one. I didn't really play anything else in the early games. I stayed away from Bears Texans. I figured that the Bears would kind of ruin Lovey's homecoming. Bengals Jets. Bengals was my play. I didn't want to mess with it though. I mean the Bengals have been bad, and they still have a terrible offensive line. It's just the Jets are a bad team. And let's go to the later games. The Jaguars smoked the Chargers. I didn't realize they'd beat them that bad, but I figured they'd beat them. I thought Herbert wasn't going to play though, and he probably shouldn't have. It was pointless. Once the game got out of reach, he stayed in there. So he said he didn't want to quit on his team, but he shouldn't even have played in the game to begin with. And this was such a spot for the Chargers to kind of blow it. They're still going to be fine. They're going to be a playoff team, I think. They could go on a deep run, but maybe not this year. They still need. I don't know. They kind of chargered like big time. But the Jaguars are more impressive than people gave them credit for. They lost to the Commanders in week 1. They really should have had that game, especially since they were my Survivor pick this year. But at least if I was going to lose Survivor, 1 week and I'm done. So I don't have to sit around for 7, 8, 12, 15 weeks and then lose at the end. So that's convenient. But yeah, the Jaguars one was super impressive. I think the Chargers kind of gave up. They didn't really want to play that game. I didn't actually put anything on the Chargers Jaguars game, mainly because my grandmother would have been angry at me. And it was already down by the time I was ready to bet it. It was the line was already down to Jaguars +3, and I didn't get it at +7 when I should have. So I didn't want to be a square and take it. I took the Bucks. I had 3 of my decent sized straight bets on the afternoon games were I took the Bucks -1.5. That was a weird one to pick. I mean, I knew that Bucks didn't have anyone to really catch the ball. Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I had a feeling both defenses would play all right, but yeah, Packers stopped the 2-point conversion at the end, and that ended that play. And then I think in the Rams Cardinals game, the Cardinals got the Rams to play the game that the Cardinals needed the Rams to play in order for the Cards to have a chance to win the game. But the Cardinals offense is so not creative. I mean, they have Kyler Murray. He's such an athlete, and he can do everything. But then they call these screen passes. They call so many screen passes, and that kind of takes the weapon and takes his weapons away. Like he can use his legs. He can create plays. I mean, that's really what he should be doing. It's like Cliff Kingsbury's playing Madden, and he's desperate to get something going, and so he's just throwing a bunch of dump offs and screens and shit. Also frustrating that I had the Cardinals plus 3.5, and I thought they actually it felt like that was a game they should have covered. I mean, I'm stupid for taking it, but if you would have told the Cardinals that the Rams were only going to score 20 points on them, then I think they expect to win that game. But the Cardinals, the offense didn't show up. It's just very, very boring to watch that offense when it should be pretty exciting. And next week I think the Rams are in a good letdown spot. I think talk about that like tomorrow or the next day when I make my picks or look at the games and decide what the schedule looks like, whatever. So next game, Falcons Seahawks. Falcons, I liked that one. That really kind of kept my day moving in the right direction enough to where I could make a big play on the Broncos last night and get lucky. But yeah, the Seahawks they're okay. They're not as bad as everyone kind of lets on, but Falcons gave them a chance at the end. They could have killed that clock, and then that stupid missed handoff from Mariota to the running back. It's like he tried to grab it, and then I kind of laid it on the ground and gave Seattle a shot. But Falcons held on. That helped me. And then after all that, I didn't have a bad day overall by that point, but I hadn't won money, so I decided just to throw not everything, but almost everything at the Broncos +2, and thankfully that it kind of worked out in that game how I thought it was going to. With I wanted the Broncos to at least stay close enough. I mean, their offense, the Broncos' offense is pathetic. They're not existent. It's like Russell Wilson is afraid to run with the ball, and he questions everything. It's weird because I know it's apparently hard to learn Nathaniel Hackett's system quick or whatever. People are making excuses for him already. But he just seems afraid to do anything. Like he's an athlete. Joe, run with the ball. Don't be afraid to get hit. It seemed like he was afraid to get hit a lot last night. And it was affecting his, there was one play he was barely behind the line of scrimmage, and it turned into a big play. But every time he'd get close to the line of scrimmage, instead of when he had a clear running lane to get a first down, he would see that, and then he would panic all of a sudden and start to try to dump the ball off or throw it away quicker. So it was weird. It's just a weird way to watch Russell Wilson play football, because for so long in Seattle, he was just kind of free flowing, and he kind of let his. It was just he thought I don't know. His thoughts were smooth or something. I don't know, but that was annoying to watch last night. The punt games were fun, but it did kind of work out how I thought. I figured if the Broncos could stay in it and stay kind of close, then by the third quarter and especially the fourth quarter, that playing in Denver effect, the Niners would be kind of gassed, and you could tell at the end they were. I mean that pick with 3 minutes left, something like that. That pick was lucky, but then they punt the ball back to the Niners. Niners had the ball with minute 20 left, and then there's that that dump off, and then the Broncos forced the fumble, game over, and it saved my day. But it's just the Broncos are definitely a last place team. I can't imagine that there's a team worse in the division than the Broncos. I'm glad they got lucky, but that's only because I bet on them. But yeah, that's kind of that's the rundown of the games. I didn't do super well. I mean, really, if you go through my 1-by-1 picks, it was before I did the video the other day, I picked the Browns. That helped my week. But I got the Colts. I said the Bears, Panthers, Titans, Bengals, Dolphins. The Eagles did what they were supposed to do. I just picked against them. Vikings didn't cover. Patriots suck. Jaguars are better than we thought. Packers and Buccaneers both have terrible offenses and good defenses. Rams pulled off a decent win against a not that good Cardinal team. Falcons, Seahawks, that game didn't really matter, except for if you had money on the Falcons or the Seahawks. And, yep, let's say it again, the Broncos are a very poor team. The Niners will be fine. I think the Niners will be fine. That it's just that them playing in Denver, and they really couldn't get anything going. But the Niners are still a good team. Probably one top 3, top 5 defense in the league for sure. The Broncos are just terrible. And tonight's game, I really like the Giants. I got a -1. I'm basically took all my winnings from last night, and I'm going with the Giants. I just think that maybe the Cowboys are getting pumped up because people are giving Cooper Rush a little too much credit or something, or because they beat the Bengals. But I really like what Brian Daboll is doing and with the Giants. And Saquon Barkley, if he keeps doing what he's doing, I mean, he's gonna be an MVP candidate for sure. And it's kind of cool to watch that team kind of, like exceed expectations, because the Giants decided to decline Daniel Jones's 50-year option, so he's gonna be a free agent next year. I mean, maybe they'll franchise him or something, but he's not that bad. I mean, he's really not that bad. He's not as bad as he looks better than Russell Wilson does, and they are at home, and really that Giants going 3-0, that'll be a fun division. I mean, it won't be as shitty as people think. But yeah, I ended up making a little bit of money this week. Not much, but if the Giants can pull off that win tonight, then it'd be a really good week for me. And then we'll see where we go from there. Alrighty. Well, thanks for watching Gumption Sports. Give me a like and subscribe, and I'll keep doing this thing for a little bit. It seems kind of fun. All right, thanks.